What's up guys, I'm the East Coaster fan, and right now I'm currently at Citywalk in Universal Orlando Resort, here to check out something really cool. I am here during Halloween Horror Nights 2024, which means a special temporary thing is currently up in Citywalk, and that is the Epic Universe Preview Center. Epic Universe is of course the new theme park coming to the Universal Orlando Resort, and it's amazing from all the concepts. You can actually see some of the concept video playing up there. So the point of this video is to just go inside, check it out, and there's a big model in there, so I want to showcase that as well. So if you're interested, let's go in and check the place out. Epic Universe Preview Center. I did not think I'd actually ever get in here, so I'm really happy to be doing so. So this whole preview center is half store and half model, so I'll be able to showcase both. But this building actually used to be the old Universal History Store, where they had a bunch of vintage stuff. It's definitely sad to see that go, but I could definitely see why they did it, because they want to advertise Epic Universe. So let's start actually going clockwise with Dark Universe over here, and then we'll end off with the model, because that's the cool part. So Dark Universe is the land that's going to be themed to the Universal monsters, and you can see that in some of the merch here. You got Frankenstein's monster, the Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, Creature of the Black Lagoon, and much more. This is a really intriguing land to me, only because I don't think there's really ever been a land like this in the United States, or maybe even the world, that's tried going for a really horror-based land. And I'm going to be experiencing Halloween Horror Nights tonight for the first time ever, so if I like what's there, I think I'm really going to like what's at Dark Universe. So this corner is actually a few things. So over there you got some How to Train Your Dragon. This area you have just normal Epic Universe stuff, but mostly for kids. And then over here you have Fantastic Beasts related merch. This section of the store is all about Super Nintendo World. So you got, of course, the Mario characters all throughout here. The land itself is going to feature a Mario Kart ride, a Yoshi ride, and a Donkey Kong coaster, which is really cool. It's going to be simulating jumping the track. So the fact you have all this Mario stuff here is actually really cool, including this sign. That's neat. And then the remainder of the store here is more Fantastic Beasts, the Ministry of Magic, and of course the Isle of Berk from How to Train Your Dragon. Kind of weird they have How to Train Your Dragon and Harry Potter stuff kind of mixed, and the other sections are separate, but whatever. All these lands look really cool just from the artistic viewpoint, so I can't wait to actually step in the park and see it in person. And then finally, when we came in on the right hand side, there were actually just some straight up Epic Universe merch. So there you go. But now it's time for the most important part of this video. Let's check out the model. Dun 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 dun. There it is. I know it might be really hard to tell on camera, but this thing is ginormous. It is so big and so detailed. I'm gonna try and zoom into the different areas that we talked about just walking throughout this store, so you can get a better sense of everything. So this is gonna be your entrance plaza right here, this kind of long strip, and then the entrance gates are gonna be right there in what I think is called the Kronos? I could be wrong about that. And this whole middle portion is actually part of just one big land, Celestial Park. So that giant dome is going to be the Celestial Carousel, which is a really unique ride. You have a restaurant that's going to be right there. And then the highlights over here, this roller coaster, Stardust Racers, which is kind of going to be the redemption dueling coaster of Universal Orlando. Of course, they took out dueling dragons, so this is kind of replacing that dueling aspect. But this is going to be a mock launch coaster. Really cool from the pictures I've seen, and the model shows it off very freaking well. Similar to before, we're going to be going around clockwise, starting with Super Nintendo World over here. So this portion of the land here is actually the same as what's in Universal Studios Japan. So it has both the Mario Kart ride and this huge show building, and then the Yoshi ride, which you can see over there with all those Yoshis going around. That's just like an Omni-Mover observation ride. Also, like Japan, we're going to be getting this part of it too, Donkey Kong Country, which includes the Donkey Kong roller coaster. And when I was talking about it before, fake jumping the track, you could see right there that the track is breaking, so they're going to mimic that feeling in Donkey Kong of you jumping from one track segment to another. So that's going to be really cool to experience on ride. is Dark Universe, which is very foresty. I didn't actually think there were going to be this many trees, but I'm happy to see it. So this line's going to have a roller coaster here called Curse of the Werewolf. I know it's a spinning coaster, but I don't really know too much other than that. And then this one in this giant show building is highly rumored to be using the same model that Forbidden Journey uses, the Kuka arm, and combining that with like a horror theme just sounds really cool. As we go along the back, you can see the fountains right here. That's going to be like a big spectacle of water shooting in the air, maybe even for a nighttime show. And that's in front of this hotel right here. So this hotel is actually going to be looking over the entirety of Epic Universe and include its own separate entrance into the park over here. So that's a really cool perk of staying here. What's also not here in the model is that there's two other hotels, the Stella Nova hotels, that are going to be built a bit further away, kind of more value-based, but should offer more hotels around this new park. This is the one for the Ministry of Magic, so the next part of Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So it's kind of in this like plus shape here. And in the line you see this tent, that's actually going to open up into a big show. So you're going to have a Harry Potter style show in this land, along with this humongous freaking show building for the next Harry Potter attraction called Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. This is another ride type that I'm not exactly sure what it is, so it'll be a surprise when it opens. But it'll involve Umbridge coming back. In fact, the actress is coming back for this ride, so that's really cool. As long as it has butterbeer, I think that'll be okay with me. Here's kind of like the back view of Stardust Racers. You can see how it stretches all over here. And again, it has like all these trees in there as it twists through and duels. So yeah, this looks like a freaking amazing coaster. And then finally, this is the Isle of Berk here, a giant How to Train Your Dragons land. This is gonna have another coaster right here. They have two of these rides. I forget the model, but it's the same thing they have at like Mall of America. And then finally, there's gonna be a stage show in this. You can see the back of it where it's exposed, but it'll be a themed facade from the outside. So all done with the Epic Universe Preview Center, and wow, that was amazing. I cannot wait for this. And honestly, a lot of people in there were super excited for it. Like, I heard someone talk about how, oh my god, Stardust Racers is the perfect replacement for Dueling Dragons, and like, people are excited about this. So when it eventually opens, I'll try my best to get down there as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed looking through the Epic Universe Preview Center with me. And with that being said, I think I'm tired, so I'm gonna keep exploring Universal.